everyone, so today I'm super excited because I have one of my friends visiting me here.
Hey. Sorry, was I not supposed to do a dance?
Okay, so Kalita is one of my friends from undergrad. We were roommates my senior year of college. So the four of us became really close my senior year of college, and we literally talked like every single day ever since we graduated. And Kalita came here to visit me.
Actually, I came here to vote. Hey, I voted.
Yeah, I did vote too.
So it wasn't about her, but yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't entirely about me, but we did talk about wanting to do a video, and this is actually also really exciting because I'm officially going to start another piece in my channel called Real Talk. And so I'm just going to have like little videos that will talk about like real everyday experiences or topics that I feel like are real.
Yep, real, relevant, and
exactly
everyday life stuff.
Exactly. And I'm always going to try to have a guest in these topics, but
I'm her first.
She is my first. But obviously you guys know I'm in school by myself, so like when I go home over break, like you'll definitely see more segments. As this being the first one, I hope you guys really like it. So the topic today.
Yes, let's get to the talk, the chat, the what's up, the what's happening. Sorry.
So the talk today is
Christian Mingle
and other Christian dating sites. So, Kalita is going to tell you about an experience that she had just a few weeks ago, actually.
So what happened was, I feel like, I haven't dated in a while.
In a while?
Ever.
Oh, okay.
Well, maybe I didn't want them to know that. I mean, I guess y'all know I don't date ever. So, like me and my friends, we always make jokes like, oh, I'll make if I don't have a boyfriend by the time I'm 25, I'm gonna make a Match.com, eHarmony, Black People Meet, Christian Mingle, all these little dating sites that I see in the commercials. So we always joke about it, and one day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a Christian Mingle, and it was like a funny ha ha he, but also I was like, no, I'm really gonna make a Christian Mingle because
she was serious.
These guys out here is really playing games, not on me, because I don't date, but on other people. And I'm just like, you know what, Christian Mingle, Christian people, I'm Christian, I can find Christian man, and we can be Christian together and we can mingle. So they matched me with a couple of people, matched me. They're like, oh yeah, this person is 93% a match. And then when I went on the profile, I'm like, this is who you matched me with, Christian Mingle, you really gonna violate me like that? And then it was, I don't know, it was just people that,
I think because they were much older.
Yeah, and also that too, it was older people, people were in their 50s. I'm like, so you matched me, a 22-year-old with a 50-year-old, thanks, Christian Mingle. I see what you're trying to do, and come on. And it was just, the whole experience was everything was going wrong. My profile, I went to another page and I came back, and everything, all the questions that I answered, they were deleted. They matched with these random people that I would never have even, it is not like trivial things. It's not oh, they were attractive, things like that. I mean, it was, but also other things just you can tell when people aren't the type of people that you would click with. Mm-hmm. And it was just the whole thing, and I was like, you know what? Donnie always tells me, wait on God, and all those holy things. And
she watched the video, Waiting on God.
I did. I watch all your videos, Donnie. I'm a supportive friend.
She does.
And so I'm just like, am I really doing this? And and then everything, like I said, everything wasn't working out. The page, my Insta got deleted. I'm matching with people that I'm thinking I'm gonna match with a fine person with the profile clicked with me, and I couldn't find anything like that. I'm like, this is God.
Yeah, she actually was very upset. Because in the group chat, she told us that her profile got deleted. She's like, I just sat there and answered all the questions, and he had so many questions, and then everything just got deleted. She was really upset. And even though she was upset, I was kind of just chuckling a little bit, laughing, because
that was God telling me, girl, if you don't sit your butt down and prepare yourself for the man that I'm preparing for you. While you're praying and hoping and doing all this stuff for a man, there's a man that's praying and, you know, preparing himself to meet a woman like you. So you trying to, you know, do it your own way, you're only going to fall short because, you know, God has a plan for you, and you trying to plan for yourself. Oh, you know, I'm gonna go on Christian Mingle, or I'm gonna go on what's that one? Christian Connections. I want to go on eHarmony.
She didn't make a Christian Connections site. I was on Instagram the other day, and that was one of my suggested posts, and I screenshotted it and sent it to them, and I was just like,
and I was joking like maybe I should make a Christian Connection.
And I was just like, didn't you learn your lesson the first time?
I did.
But like when she was upset in the group chat, I told her, I was just like, you know, maybe this is just God's way of just like blocking it and being like, I got you, which is true. So I think she eventually realized that, as you can tell now, that sometimes
don't do it.
not necessarily don't do it,
they might match you with someone that's like 40 years older than you, and they'll lie to your face and tell you that you're 93% matched. So it's
and I think also you have to pay a fee. So
listen, I am a very I don't want to say cheap, but like what is the more nice frugal person? Like I'm not paying. I don't pay for apps. I don't pay for music. I don't pay for nothing.
Why you say that on
like I don't have music on my phone. Like I just listen to like Pandora. Long story short, I'm cheap. So I was not gonna sit there and pay $19 per month to possibly meet someone when it's like, come on, like you rather just live your life and you're gonna meet people you're gonna have, just like you meet your friends, you're gonna meet your significant other. And I feel like everyone has a soulmate out there for them. And maybe that soulmate was not meant for me to find them on Christian Mingle, like, you know.
The thing that you have to understand is that when wanting to join these sites and when wanting to, you know, be like on a dating site, you kind of have to think about, well, what's your motive?
So as a young woman, you feel like, you know, there's not a lot of guys who's on that same journey as you. And, you know, a lot of, you know, guys, you know, you think, oh, first, second, third date, or the 3-month rule even, you know, after 3 months, you think that that's the time to, you know, give it up and do whatever. But for someone who wants to wait for marriage, that's a whole nother goal plan, girl. Like, that whole 3-month thing is different, unless you're going to get engaged and married in 3 months. Abstaining from what? So does that mean, does that include, you're like, yes. So we can't, no. And that's also, yeah. They're like,
exactly.
So, you know, my bus comes in like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna just catch you on a flip. I'm gonna text you though. Like, so you feel like there's not a lot of guys that's on the same journey as you, and especially being young, being 22, like, I feel like a lot of guys and females too, me too, like we're in that young person mindset where it's like, it's you know, the delayed satisfaction. You know, you don't want to wait for somebody, and like they don't even. I feel like some people, they won't even give you the chance. You know, say, oh, like, you know, I like this girl, I'm gonna wait, da da da. As soon as you drop that bombshell, they ghost like so. Making that me thinking about that, like maybe if I go on Christian Mingle, I can find people that's on that same
like-minded.
You know, that's like-minded. You know, that's equally yoked. I read that in the Bible. Equally yoked, yeah. You know, when you're both on the same page and the same chapter on the same line and the same sentence. Yeah. But yeah. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I go Christian Mingle, Christian Connection, something like that, I can find someone like that. But you know, it's like even though I guess my mindset originally was like what's the word for it? Was like
I don't know what to say.
No, like you know, like when you like I was on the right track, find a virtual boyfriend on Christian Mingle.
And it could even be a feeling of like being bored or lonely.
Yeah,
and that's a reason for wanting to like go on those websites, because you want like companionship and you want to be able to talk to someone. Like, you know, I want to have my phone blowing up. But yeah, so this is true. I remember when we were living in our apartment in undergrad, Cleto was like really interested in the fact that I wanted to save my first kiss for my husband, and also, you know, save sex for marriage. So I'll actually do another video on that in time. But I was telling her this, and she was like,
all right. So the whole sex thing, I understood, but I mean, I guess I won't get too much into it because she's gonna do it in this video. But I was like, girl, you saving your kids, like, for what? But you know, it's like at the end of the day, they're all I guess like actions that I feel like should be devoted to your husband. Like that's that person that's going to be with you forever for the long run. And you like giving that gift, like okay, first kiss, I guess losing your virginity or whatever it is. It's like something that's meant for that person. It's not for any and anybody.
Biblically, in 1 Corinthians 6 verse 16, it says, and I'll read it just how it has it typed. It says, "Run from sexual sin."
Run, girl, run. And boys too.
And guys, yes. So it has an exclamation point there. So clearly, it's showing like, hey, this is something that you should not be doing.
Girl, run.
Marriage.
No matter what you say, you try to run. You try to say, girl, just run.
It says, "No other sin clearly affects the body as this one does. For sexual immorality is a sin against your own body. Don't you realize that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who lives in you and was given to you by God? You do not belong to yourself, for God bought you with a high price. So you must honor God with your body."
Yep.
So I love that.
Honor God first.
Exactly. I love that. And so when she realized this, I was really happy because it's not just like a personal preference, and even though it is for some people, but it's also biblical because you always want to like honor as a Christian. You want to be Christ-like and all of that, and to do that is like following the word. You are made new in Him, and even if you like fall after you have given your life to Christ, like forgiveness is real. Like His grace is sufficient. So it's not like Kalita said, you're not counted out. As long as you repent and you really confess your sins to God and be like, hey, I really messed up and I don't want to mess up anymore. What is it that I can do to be made whole in you? And it's really just having that conversation with God and being genuine about it. Like don't just be like, okay, I can just fall and then ask for forgiveness and then keep doing it.
Oops, fell again. My bad, guys. Oops, fell again.
Yeah, well, that's not what it is. But
oops,
it's really really coming to God. that last one was extra.
One more time. Oops, fell again.
Crazy.
So on the Christian Broadcasting Network, that's my sources. I went online and said only 3% of Americans wait to have sex until they're married, which translates into 1 in 30 that will wait until marriage. So like, I mean, obviously I didn't have those stats when I made the page, but just in general, it just gives you a number to say there's a lot of people who don't choose, to wait to marry. So you rather just marry yourself because you ain't gonna find a guy like that. Like it's a dub. So that's how so. It's like and then also like when you have like you watch TV and you have your friends and you like looking at all these different relationships and you're like, wow, they didn't wait and they got married. She didn't wait. She didn't go to the ship. She like come in. They and then you're not finding a relationship that's I guess a symbol or like that represents what you want yourself. So I feel I'm in this like by myself because ain't nobody gonna wait for me. But then when you think like that, it's like I'm worth waiting for. I'm worth I'm God's masterpiece. See what I did there? God's masterpiece. But yeah, I'm God's masterpiece. So why wouldn't I be worth waiting for? Like I'm a prize. Well, not a prize. I'm a prize. Like I don't know how else to say it, but I'm something that's worth waiting for.
Exactly.
I feel you have to have faith that God has put a man
on this earth
for you. Like God has put someone, your soulmate, your future husband, your future wife, your future partner in life. Like He put that person out there for you, and it's like it's going to happen. Just like your dreams and goals that you wish for yourself, the things that you want to see in your life happen, your life plan or whatever that you want to see happen in your life. God's plan at the end of the day will be fulfilled. Like the career you want, the type of house you want, type of whatever, the type of husband that you want, you're gonna find that.
And not even just want, but need.
The type of thing that's meant for you, that God planned for you. Like
things that you don't even know you need, God already knows, and He's just like, you didn't even realize that you needed this and this person.
The things that you thought you wanted, but you realize that's not meant for you. Like either way, whatever, however else you want to say it, like God has that out there for you, and you don't have to go looking for it. You look under the fridge, looking under the mattress. Girl, you gonna find it. I mean, it's gonna happen for you. Like just settle down and let God do his thing.
Take care.
God got you. Like if anybody else got you, God got you. That's what you gotta matter. That's what you gotta you know, worry about. Like,
and that's pretty much what I was telling her that night. Even though I really thought it was a joke, and I honestly, I'll be sorry, I did not take you seriously with that page,
girl.
I did not.
When I sent you that Snapchat on my page, you was like, I was like, yep.
Yeah, but I honestly, like, deep down I knew it wasn't gonna work out because of the fact that I knew her.
You see this?
So yes, I'm fake. I'm so sorry.
Deep down, I knew it wasn't gonna work out.
It wasn't gonna work out because I knew her motive was not because she was led by the
Holy Spirit. I was just trying to find a man, y'all.
Or she, you know, or she prayed about it. No, I knew her motive was because she honestly was getting to the point where she would just get impatient.
Yep. I sure was.
So
was past tense, I've learned.
Was, yes. But so for anyone out there who is around our age in their 20s, and you know, you feel like you've read these stats of like, you know, it's harder to find men who are saving themselves for marriage and all this stuff. Like, you know, the more educated you are, the less like you are to like find someone, and all these different things that social media can put out there. You get to a point where you're just like, wow, like there's never gonna be anyone for me. Like there's no one out there. But it's not true. And then sometimes it can get your mind to thinking like, well, maybe I should go on these dating sites. Maybe I should check it out because God's taking a little long, so I need him to hurry up. But you know what? I'll just help him out a little bit and go on this dating site, and then it's a godly man anyway because it's Christian Mingle. And that might not necessarily be the case because you really don't know who these people are. Anyone can just say that they're a Christian, but it's not even just saying that you're a Christian. Yep. Exactly. It's not just saying you're a Christian, but it's the lifestyle that you're living. Like, are you really being Christ-like?
Are you?
You know, so
because anybody can call himself a Christian. It's about the way you live your life, your way of life, and relationship with God that really
exactly. So you don't ever want to rush into something just because you have the wrong motives and then end up, you know, heartbroken or sad or even worse off than you were before. So I know that the waiting time is really hard, but when you kind of think about it, you're just like, you know, I'd much rather wait than to end up in a situation where I'm like completely devastated and
unhappy
and unhappy.
And you feel even more lonely in a relationship than you felt by yourself.
Exactly. Like, and the thing is, and not saying that, you know, you've messed up if you've ever gotten a situation like that. Like, God is so amazing and great that he knows how to take our mess and work it out for our good. But save yourself the time.
He's working for your good.
It's intentional. But yeah, he'll still work it for your good, but just save yourself the trouble. Like, you know, like you, as Cleta said, like use this time to allow God to prepare you for the man or woman that he needs you to be with. You know, like sometimes I have to ask myself the question, well, am I even ready right now to be courting? Am I even ready to be with someone? You know, am I even wifey material? You know,
that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because wait, hold up, pause. There's some girls out there who looking for husband material but ain't wifey material. Like,
I just said that.
That's why it's so important that you prepare yourself for the type of relationship that you want, type of man that you want. Because there's some women who's like really looking for like that guy, but it's like there's so much like levels to yourself that you haven't even uncovered yet. Like, you know, how do you deal with certain situations? Like, how do you, like, you know, if a guy didn't call you when you wanted him to call you, are you going to black out, or are you going to, you know, it's a lot of things you got to learn about yourself. That are you the type of woman that, you know, that are you the person that you want to be at this stage of life?
God knows the desires of your heart, so don't think that, you know, it's just going to be like whatever and he's not going to provide you with what you need. But also he's just like, hey, this is my son that I'm trying to give you daughter. So he's my son and I'm his good father. I'm not just going to give him to anyone who's not ready, and same with you. I'm not just going to give you any man that's not ready. So before you guys can even come together, there's some things I got to work on with him, and there's some things I got to work on with you. You are my two precious children, and I want to make sure that when you are put together, you are ready, and that you are able to glorify me even greater than you could by yourself. Exactly. So, you know, don't try to rush and go ahead of God's timing.
Don't be like me.
don't try to rush and go on the Christian dating sites just because you feel like you're bored or you're lonely or you've read stats and you feel like there's no one out there for you. No, but I will say this, I'm not saying that, these Christian dating sites are like terrible or anything like that. Honestly, if you have a relationship with God and you feel as though God has led you to, joining the site because you feel as though like He has said you are going to find a specific person there, be led by the Holy Spirit. But if you have the motive of just like, well, I'm bored and lonely and I need to go out and just go on these sites just to find God's match, for me and stuff, I would really suggest that you just spend some time with God and really pray about it and see where He leads you after that. I'm not saying that, well, if you have those thoughts, then don't go on the Christian dating site. But if you have those thoughts, seek out God first and be, God, I want to go on this Christian dating site because I'm lonely, because I feel like I don't have anyone, and because I feel like you are not going to provide me with someone. Get into your word and see what happens.
God will always provide.
He will. See what happens. And honestly, like, if you have those thoughts, comment below and let me know what happens when you do that.
There are definitely people out there, like, there are guys out there
that's true. So, like, exactly. So, and that should just, give you some hope to let you know, like, hey, you don't have to think that there's no guy out there, but there are guys, good Christian men who are out there who, are willing to protect their purity and protect your purity as well in saving themselves. So don't think that God doesn't have someone out there for you. Just really, it's really a matter of just seeking Him and knowing that this time God doesn't waste your time. Like, He is your Father. He has your plan set out. Like, He doesn't say, well, from the year of 2012 to 2016, I'm just gonna waste her time. No,
it ain't waste her time 2016.
No, okay? It's not waste her time 2016. No, but in this time, he's put you through situations. He's brought you through different things so you can learn and so you can grow to become that woman and that man that God has for the specific spouse for you. So don't think that this time is being wasted.
Yeah, like, have you ever like gotten something, like, I guess a blessing or like something that you really wanted and you feel like, oh, if I had gotten this way back when, like 4 years ago, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. Or if I had gotten this, it could be anything. Like, it could be a really great job or like a car. I don't know, like something that you really thank God for.
If Kalina were to get a car right now, she wouldn't know what to do with it because she does not have her permit or her license.
I can't drive, y'all. I can't. It's
yeah. And a Bible verse that I wanted to share that really relates to this, 2 Peter 3 verse 9. I'll share part of it. It says, the Lord isn't really being slow about His promise, as some people think. No, He is being patient for your sake. He does not want anyone to be destroyed. Man, when I read that, I was just like, that is so perfect. Like, it says that the Lord isn't really being slow, as we might think. So, we might be thinking in our mind, like, oh, He's not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. Nothing's happening. No, he's not being so. It's just because we think that our timing and His timing match up, but that's not how it works out. We can't put our own time on God.
Which is not to say that God purposely said, oh yeah, dub, you're not going to get that. It's just, just relax and just let God, like they always say, let go and let God. Let go of, your worries, your troubles, and things like that, but also let go of you trying to pinpoint and plan and write a schedule and of your life. You can schedule out your day maybe, but if you try to sit there and schedule out your life year by year and month by month and things like that,
you'll be very disappointed.
You can be organized, but at the end of the day, life happens and God happens and God's gonna happen to plan the life how He wants to. So you're gonna be tight.
Letting that stuff out, you'll get disappointed, and then you'll be like tight at God, like this, and you'll be like, but I didn't even plan that for you. That was all you.
Yeah, so you tight, God. You'll be tight at yourself because you're the one that tries to schedule out your whole love life, and it will happen that way. Sorry.
If you don't already know how to spend time with God and read your word and worship, how do you expect to do that when you have a spouse? And now it's like you also should be praying for your spouse even before God has presented them to you, because you need to realize that you need to always be praying for,
Exactly.
you know, your, not even just your significant other, but your friends and your family, because those are the people that are in your life, and you just want to see great things come to them. And when you're in a marriage, it's a union, and you become one. So you can't just be praying for yourself and not for the other.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, starting to get into those habits now is important, even before God presents that spouse to you. So that way, when you're together, in order to glorify God greater, you two already have that strong foundation in Him. So when you come together, it's even better to just lift Him up. So don't think that this time of waiting is just I'm gonna just spend some time with God, and I'm gonna just, you know, have that one-on-one time. But then when I'm with my spouse, that's out the door.
It was like, you know, I'm looking at their relationship. Oh, they got a boyfriend. He got a boyfriend. And you know, I wasn't where I want to be. Not even where I am now, but you know, I like basically I wasn't. How would I say, like.
You keep asking to find these words, and I don't even know what's going through your mind.
Like, I didn't have a strong relationship with God, you know.
That's what you were trying to say. That's what it is.
That's what I'm trying to say, you know. So if I had gotten a boyfriend at the time, I could have been doing things for him doing. I could have been had a teenage pregnancy. I don't know, because I was just so into worldly things. I was so into what my friends were doing. You know, I mean, I've always been, you know, an independent person in a way, but at the same time, when you see all your friends having boyfriends, you on the outside looking in, you automatically say, oh, why them and not me?
For me, I always just thought, like, wow, like, I'm, like, ugly, like, you know, like, no one's checking for me, no one wants me, like, it must be my looks. And I remember my friend showed me a picture one time from Instagram or Facebook, I don't remember, and she was like, it was saying basically, like, don't think that because, like, you haven't gotten attention from certain people that there's something wrong with you, but look at it more of this, like, God covering you from all of the things that you don't even need. So don't look at it as like something wrong with you, I'm ugly or no one wants me, but God's just like, no, I have a covering over you, and I'm in that covering, I'm preparing you, I'm fixing you
and
up.
as long as that right person that's meant for you wants you, that's all that matters. You don't need Tim, Tom, and Jack to be checking for you. As long as that one person, if that one person is Jerome, and Jerome's checking for you, and God put Jerome in your life, then Jerome is that person that, you know. Exactly. The only person that needs to have eyes for you is your husband, or if you're a man, your wife.
You honestly, I was telling the girls in the group chat, I was just like, Jesus is my boyfriend, like, really, because
hey God, how you doing? and then he answers back, oh, new number, who this? New phone, who this?
Really, like, he desires to spend time with you, so don't desire after these, like, you know, worldly, you know, relationships and all of that, because God is just like, I'm right here. Why are you feeling lonely? Why are you feeling like you don't have any companions when I'm right here with you, wanting to talk to you, wanting to hear about your day, and yet you just, you know, push me to the side? So don't ever think that you need to, like, seek after a companionship or relationship or anything like that just because you feel like God's not, like, you know, answering your prayer. But he's just like, well, you need to learn how to spend time with me before I can even give you my son or daughter and expect you to spend time with me when they're in your life. So, you know, you want, like we said, like, you want a godly relationship, you want a marriage that honors God, but ask yourself the question of, am I even ready to be a wife? Am I even ready to be a husband? Am I ready to raise a family? Not even just raise a family, but a family that fears the Lord. You know, those things aren't easy. You know, so let God prepare you now in this time of singleness and this time of waiting for all those things to happen the right way, God's way.
You answer those questions and you coming out with the wrong answers, then you already know, like, you know.
Yeah, it's time to
this is either
reevaluate the relationship.
Yeah, this is either things that need to change in this relationship, or I need to change this relationship and be with somebody else. But, you know,
yeah. So those are important questions to ask yourself. Trust me, we both know it's hard. It's incredibly hard when you see, like, you know, people our age starting to get married, having children, and all this stuff, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm just sitting here. What's
ain't
going
got
on?
no boyfriend.
Yeah.
Where my man at, God? Where's my man at? Where's my boyfriend at?
Yeah.
Like, Don't do that. Don't be like me. You know. How I was in the past, I've changed.
I hope you guys are able to learn something from all of this. We really have been talking about doing this video for a little while now, and we're really happy that we're able to share it with you all. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment below. Kalita is always on my page, so if you have a question for her, she will definitely answer. Yes.
I will definitely comment back.
Yes, she will. Yes, she has been a huge part of Be His Masterpiece and has been really helpful in the vlogs and blogs and just my site and everything. So she's all up in it, all over it. So if you do have questions for her, she definitely can answer them for you, and I'll be there to answer them too. So please don't hesitate to comment your thoughts.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, like, comment, subscribe if you want to continue
down there. I always wanted to do that. You know, in the videos when they like, comment, subscribe. I said subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, and they're like this. I always want to do that. So yeah. So it's gonna be down here somewhere. Make sure the graphics are down here so I don't look like an idiot. They're gonna be down here. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah.
Yes, so like, comment, subscribe, so you can get notifications about the videos. And if you have any other questions that you don't feel asking publicly, you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. And if you do have a question for Kalita there, I will definitely include her in that email. So you can definitely still get your questions answered if you don't want to have them public. You ready?
So, you know, as always,
I thought we were doing it together. 1, 2, 3. And as always, be his masterpiece.